purpose of this video is to give you an idea of what your child can expect this year in language arts as we try a new method of teaching and learning called the flipped classroom. In a traditional language arts class, students spend most of their time as passive learners. They quietly sit in rows while listening to a lecture for most of the class period. The class might work through some example problems together, but then they work on independent practice for the remainder of the class period. They might have some time to work a little with their peers, but only when time allows, which is not very often. Whatever problems the students don't finish in class now become homework. Students return each day to class as passive learners, never taking an active role in their education. Students of this generation have a world of knowledge at their fingertips. I don't necessarily feel that the traditional method of teaching is the best method for teaching children in the mobile generation for many reasons. I'm going to discuss 3 of them in further detail. Number 1. All students learn differently. Some students understand difficult concepts that you teach them immediately. As a result of this, they would become bored when the lesson did progress at a faster rate. Other students need more time to think about what they are learning and process the information. They need to ask questions and cover the information more than once. This difference of learning paces made it difficult for all students to learn the material at the pace that was set by the teacher. I was not able to properly teach every student every day. Number 2. There have been several times where I have had to give out homework with very little class time to work on it. Students would take the worksheet home and have difficulty completing it because they didn't remember what they learned in class. Some students have support at home on their homework, but honestly, it's difficult to remember everything that was learned back in junior high, and with hectic schedules, it can be difficult for anyone to assist on homework. Students who can't get assistance at home would just write something down to make it look like they did the work, or they would copy someone else's answers the next day. This makes the practice a waste of time because students aren't getting the most out of the practice if they don't understand how to do it. Practice doesn't make perfect if you aren't practicing correctly. And finally, number 3. There are instances where students can't attend school for a variety of reasons: illness, sports, emergencies, orthodontist appointments, etc. It is really difficult for students to make up the work they missed in class if they didn't attend the lecture where the teacher explained how to do the work. The teacher and the student then have to find a common time to discuss the lesson information, which is very difficult to do with schedule conflicts. Students then miss additional work trying to catch up on the work they missed while absent. This just causes students to fall behind on their work and get frustrated. You probably want to know what the flipped classroom is and how it's going to solve these problems. For starters, in the flipped classroom, students now get their lecture at home via video. What used to be a 20 to 30 minute lecture has been whittled down to a less than 10-minute video that students can watch at home on their computer, mobile device, or television. Students will take notes in a format that is called a WISC. You can learn more about the WISC in the letter that was sent home, as well as posted on our classroom website. While students are watching the video and taking notes, they are able to pause, rewind, and rewatch anything in the video that they didn't catch. This allows students to learn at a pace that is entirely comfortable to them. I don't expect students to understand all concepts fully just by watching a video, but I do expect them to understand the basics and come to class prepared to discuss the topics and ready to ask questions if they don't understand. 2. What used to be known as homework will now be done in class. Because the lecture is out of the way, students will be able to spend more time practicing the concepts with the assistance of their peers and their teachers. Students will spend a small amount of time discussing the video concept at the start of each class with a partner or in a small group. Students will have plenty of help when they need it. Because of the extra time that the flipped classroom creates, we will have more time for hands-on projects that have students apply their knowledge and use it in real-life situations. Students will become more excited and engaged in their work because they will become more active in the learning process. The flipped classroom will help transform them from passive to active learners. My role as a teacher will also change. I will no longer be in total control over the learning that takes place in the classroom. I will now have a chance to work with every student one-on-one every single day. I will be circulating around the room, working with individual students and groups, answering questions and challenging them to think at a deeper level. At the end of the day, I'm sure to be tired, but it will be worth it when I see my students begin to take responsibility for their learning and really understand the concepts. I am ready for an exciting year of learning grammar, writing, literature, and vocabulary with the flipped classroom. I know that it is the best way I can give your student one-on-one attention every day, and your student can grow not only as a junior high student, but also become better prepared for high school and what lies beyond that.